We ready? 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 Okay. We ready? Okay. Planning Commission meeting of May 22nd, 2024 will come to order. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Secretary will call roll, please.
Commissioner Tolson,
Here.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Here.
Commissioner Rice,
Here.
Vice Chairperson Mayor,
Here.
Chairperson Mann.
Here. May I have a motion for approval of the agenda?
Move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Commissioner Rice has made a motion to approve the agenda. Commissioner Tolson has made a motion to second. By consensus, all in favor? Okay. By consensus, we will go on with the agenda. May I have a motion for approval of the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
We have a motion from Vice Chair Mayor and
I'll second.
second from Commissioner Tolson. Again, by consensus. Hearing nothing, approval of the minutes. Declaration of conflict. The secretary will read the declaration of conflict.
If any member of the Planning Commission may have a conflict of interest or any reason why that member must abstain from consideration of any matter on this agenda, he or she should so declare at this time.
Are there any declarations of conflict? Hearing none. Public statements. This is the time allotted for public statements or comments on all items other than public hearing items. Is there anyone in the chamber wishing to be heard on anything other than the item before the Planning Commission this evening? Don't be shy. Okay, hearing none. Correspondence. Is there any correspondence from the Deputy Director, City Planner?
Yes, Chairman Mann, members of the Planning Commission, we provided you a supplemental staff report for Agenda Item 11A1, which has been emailed and provided to you here at the desk and provided to the public out on the lobby. Also, we received a late correspondence received at 5:24 p.m. The email was provided to you at the desk.
Thank you. Nothing on consent calendar. Nothing on continued business. Looks like we're on to new business. This is the time and place set for the public hearing on the consideration of CUP S 400 MOD number 1. Also, GPA-2021-0002. Also, Z-S-2021-007. Also, Z-S-2024-001. And the determination that the project is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act thereof. Are there any ex parte communications to report? May we have an oral report on this matter from staff?
Yes, Chairman Mann, members of the Planning Commission. Yes, this is a modification to an existing conditional use permit for a religious facility. They propose to modify the religious facility into a new two-story facility. It also includes a related general plan amendment, zone change, and zone text amendment. This will be a recommendation to the City Council, so a final decision won't be tonight, but this is a recommendation at this point. Our principal planner, Naranguna Sakara, has tonight's presentation.
Good evening, Commissioners. The project being heard tonight consists of a modification to an existing conditional use permit, known as a CUP, and a general plan amendment, a zone change, and a zone text amendment. The request is for an approval for the construction of a two-story religious facility on a 0.64-acre site, a change of the land use designation to general commercial, and a zone change to commercial plan development, known as CPD. A zone text amendment is also being requested for modifications to setbacks and landscape buffers between commercially zoned lots and public park uses. The 0.64-acre site is located at 4343 Township and is highlighted in blue in this image. Township Avenue and single-family residences are located to the south, Horton Schreiber Park to the west and north, and El Patio Plaza and a Ventura County Fire Station to the east. The existing 3,055 square foot building was constructed in 1966 as an American Legion post prior to the city's incorporation in 1969. This aerial image from 1970 shows the site with the park to the west of the lot. This is a view of the existing site from Township looking north. A CUP for the use of the building as a religious institution with a 1,380 square foot worship area was approved by the city in 1992. The Islamic Society of Simi Valley has owned the building since 2012. The proposed CUP modification will replace the aging structure with a two-story, 6,780 square foot building. The building will consist of a 1,470 square foot worship area, reception areas, kitchen, offices, and classrooms for religious instruction. 43 parking spaces will be provided, and 14.9% of the site will be landscaped as shown in the site plan. Project setbacks range from 10 feet on the west side to the park and 65 on the north side adjacent to the park, 43 feet on the east side, 73 feet on the south side adjacent to Township. 42 parking spaces are required by the city's municipal code for a worship area size of 1,470 square feet. That is one space per 35 square feet of worship area, as there are no fixed seats. Here you can see the street-facing elevation. The building will be composed of fiber cement panels and smooth plaster in champagne and topaz colors with metal grille pattern accents. Champagne bronze window and door frames and PPG Atlantica glass windows and arches will be provided. The building will have a dome on the east side of the building with an attached decorative minaret. There is no amplified sound system associated with the minaret. These two elements will be 35 feet high. The remainder of the building will range from 21 to 28 feet in height and incorporates a single-story element on the east side with a two-story element on the west side of the building. This is a rendering of the building facing Township Avenue. The religious facility will be open daily for the 5 Islamic prayer times during the morning, afternoon, and evening. The classrooms will be open from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, and from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. The project was reviewed for compliance and consistency with the Simi Valley Municipal Code as detailed in this slide and in the staff report. Note that the consistency determination was made with the proposed zone of CPD and post-zone text amendment for the setbacks and landscape buffers from residential zones. As detailed previously, on-site parking requirements are met. The building ranges in height from 21 feet to 35 feet, and setbacks and landscape percentage exceeds the required minimums. There is a general plan amendment associated with this application. The site's land use designation is currently Neighborhood Park. This designation is intended to meet the needs for open areas of aesthetic value within a neighborhood and areas for active or passive recreation. Typically, these areas range in size from 6 to 10 acres and are intended to serve 2,000 to 5,000 residents living within a radius of approximately 0.5 miles from the designated park. The site has never served as a park. With the general plan amendment, the designation for the 0.64-acre site would be changed to general commercial. The site's zoning is currently residential medium. This is intended to provide for a suburban single-family residential environment with a minimum lot size of 8,000 square feet and a density ranging from 3.6 to 5 units per acre. The site has never had a residential use. With the zone change for the approximately 28,000 square foot size lot, this would be changed to commercial plan development. This is the aerial again from 1970. As mentioned previously, the site has been developed with the building since 1966 and is 0.64 acres in size. The site has never been a neighborhood park, nor has had a residential use. Going by the general plan standards, the site is too small for a neighborhood park. Its location between the park, the fire station, and the El Patio Plaza make it unsuitable for use as a single-family residential use. The proposed land use designation and zoning change is akin to a map fix for a land use and zoning inconsistency. The proposed changes would make the lot consistent with the nearest adjacent land use designation and zoning, which is general commercial and CPD for the El Patio Plaza. This land use designation and zoning is intended for the development of attractive, innovative, and efficient commercial sites containing a broad range of retail, office, and service commercial uses. Religious facilities are permitted in the CPD zoning district with the approval of a conditional use permit. A zone text amendment is also proposed to two sections of the code as shown here, with deletion struck through and the new text underlined. The changes would eliminate the need for a 10-foot landscape buffer and a side yard setback on commercial industrial lots when located next to a public park use. The requirement for landscape buffers and side yard setbacks would still be kept in place when the adjacent use is residential. This change would allow the applicant to utilize the existing building footprint with an associated cost savings and a phased construction to allow the community to use a portion of the building while construction is going on. Without the code amendment, the eastern setback would need to be increased to around 28 feet instead of the current 10 feet, and a 10-foot landscape buffer with 48-inch box trees would also be required. As mentioned, the relevant Sim Valley Code sections still require landscape buffers and setbacks between residential uses and industrial and commercial uses. As such, the buffering intent to protect residential uses will be maintained after the text amendments. A trip generation memorandum was prepared for the project by K2 Traffic Engineering in 2023. The applicant has surveyed 3 similar religious institutional sites to develop a daily trip generation memorandum utilizing gross floor area of the project, prayer area square footage, and the per person capacity of the prayer area. The memorandum analyzed facilities in Newbury Park, North Hills, and Carson in comparison to the subject property. The proposed project is anticipated to have a net trip generation of 24 trips in the PM peak hour and 237 daily trips with a low and negligible AM peak generation. The peak use is on Friday between 1 to 2 p.m., which does not coincide with the nearby schools letting out. As mentioned, the peak AM generation during the trips of 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. is negligible. The city's traffic engineer has determined that the existing roadway improvements are adequate for the proposed project's traffic generation. Staff, some concerns with traffic safety were also raised during the City Council hearing for the General Plan Amendment pre-screening. Staff investigated the number of traffic incidences on Township Avenue between Tapo Street and Tapo Canyon Road from 2015 through to 2023, and 2 collisions were found to have occurred on this stretch in 9 years, as shown above. The collision between the vehicle and the cyclist resulted in an injury to the cyclist, while the 2-vehicle collision didn't result in any injuries. The General Plan Amendment, Zone Change, and Zone Text Amendment were determined to be exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act, known as CEQA, pursuant to the common sense exemption. The building was determined to be exempt as a Class 3 new construction of small structures. More details of the proposed exemptions are included in the staff report. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission recommend to the City Council approval of CUP-S-400 Mod Number 1, GPA-2021-0002, Z-S-2021-0007, Z-S-2024-0001, and a determination that the project is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act. This concludes staff's presentation, and we are available for questions. Thank you.
Do any commissioners have any questions of staff? Okay, sorry, Vice Chair, Mayor?
I talked to you and Aaron about this, but I want the rest of the people to hear it. Is there a way to limit off-site parking, to the best of your knowledge, and on the street? Like what they have in LA, where neighbors can petition to have permitted parking for residents and their guests only?
I will actually defer that to the city traffic engineer, Justin Link, to answer that question.
Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners, Vice Chairperson, Mayor. The city currently does not have a preferential parking permit program instituted in anywhere in the city. We have looked into that in the past and have determined, based on surveys of other jurisdictions, City of Glendale, City of Oxnard, City of Los Angeles, City of Santa Monica, that there is a net negative effect to the city based on budget and other requirements enforcement. So at this time, we are disinclined to pursue a parking permit program anywhere in the city as a result.
Thank you. I have more questions. Is there a way, to the best of your knowledge, this is Rancho Simi, that is an overflow parking that is being used to, from what I'm hearing from the comments here, on an occasion, is there a way for Rancho Simi theoretically to limit that parking?
I haven't had any conversations with Rancho Simi, so I couldn't speak to that.
Okay, thank you. That's it.
Please, Commissioner Kennedy?
Yeah, just a point of clarification. It said the number of parking spots was based on the worship area only, not the entire square foot of the facility.
That is correct.
And what is that number? I'm reading all these different numbers for the main prayer hall and all the rest of it.
It's one parking space per 35 square feet of worship area, so that equates out to 42 square feet.
Got it. Thank you.
I'm sorry, 42 spaces.
Commissioner Tolson?
One question, please.
Your button's over there.
Yeah, yeah. So, where will the applicants be worshiping while the building's demoed? Do we know, or is that a conversation with you or with them?
I would have the applicant respond to that question.
Okay.
I have one more question.
By all means, please.
Is there a way to add speaker system condition to the conditions of approval if we do go ahead and approve this project?
To add a speaker system?
To
Or you
add
mean
the
add a
limitation of
restriction?
not having the speaker system in the future?
I would, so technically, the use of amplified sound within 250 feet of residential use is limited by Section 9-44 of the Simi Valley Municipal Code without a conditional use, and requires a conditional use permit for that use.
I understand
This-
that, but if we wanted to add that as a condition.
So I'm getting to that.
Okay.
So it's not part of this request. So I would actually defer to the city attorney in terms of adding that as a condition, in terms of how that would happen.
The applicant already agreed to that, to the best of my knowledge.
Okay, so I just want to understand what the question is.
During the neighborhood council meeting, and we can continue this in the discussion, but my question was, if we wanted to add that as a condition, could we do that?
Yes, you could do that.
Okay.
Okay.
That-
I
that
mean,
was
it's
my
all, I mean,
question.
it's already a requirement without it being in the conditional use permit. So it really
It's
would.
not- yeah.
And then and as you mentioned, they've also already agreed to it. As I understand it, the minaret is for decorative purposes only and isn't being used as with a speaker system. So, like I said, I don't know that it's required. You could do it.
Well, for the sake of this conversation, for the sake of this debate, what if the municipal code changes? And then they're not required to ask for a conditional use permit? Can we just, if we decide that we want to add it, is that a possibility?
Yes, like I said, it could be added. Or you could recommend
Yeah,
that it be
that was
added.
just my question, and
Sure.
we can debate it later. Thank you.
Any other questions from any commissioners? Okay. I'm going to open the public testimony portion of the hearing. Would the applicant like to present the project?
Just let us set up. So today, Imam Gibran will be speaking on behalf of the center, and Assad Khan, this CEO of Langdon Wilson International, the design firm, and myself, Ziad Khan, also with Langdon Wilson International. So let's let Imam go ahead.
Go ahead. I'll invite Imam Omar to talk about this slide and I'll talk about the facility before I start.
Thank you. Good evening. I should have brought my binocular. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Our Islamic Society of Simi Valley have been in existence since December 2012. It is a worship place, a religious place that offers 5 times prayers, Friday prayers, Ramadan, fasting Eid prayers, marriage services, funeral services, and zakat distribution. Zakat is a portion of wealth that everybody is obligated to give to the poor. So we distribute that to the poor. The social part of this is we have a community outreach program that we're always trying to reach out to our community and our neighbors. And that was highlighted through the pandemic, where we had food distribution for people who needed the food. That was done in front of our Islamic Society. And it really got a great deal of attention. People were needing the food, and we were giving it to them willingly with a smile and a beautiful attitude. We have interfaith. We do reach out to the interfaith community. We invite them to come and visit our masjid. Our masjid is open for everyone. There is no restriction of who can come in and who can come out or not come in. And we like to always keep the connection between us and the interfaith. Belief is very important for the community, no matter what community you're in. We have women halaqah, which is halaqah means it's a meeting of women to discuss and learn and educate. We have tafsir classes, which is the explanation of the Quran. And then we have family nights. Once in a while we get everybody, we get a good portion of food so everybody can come in and socialize with one another. Quran classes we have every Tuesday and Thursday. And that is learning and teaching the Quran for boys and girls. And that was a plug right here, contact board member for anybody that wants to join. We have a youth program. We would like to teach our youth to stand in public and speak in public and not to have any hesitation and to express their feelings and express what they have and contribute. So we have Toastmasters International. And we have also Feed the Hungry program that we get our youth to make the sandwiches and get together and go downtown or some areas that are needed as far as the homeless is concerned. Also, we have character building program. Our center is about producing a good generation that would be beneficial for our community and the community at large. In essence, producing good citizens, the ones that care about the environment, care about the people, the surrounding, and don't look at people at what faith they follow, but look at the hearts of the people and just try to get everybody together. That is important for us. Our youth are incredible. They excel in their schooling. They have graduated from very famous universities, and that's a testament to the center. Most of these youth, girls and boys, were raised and as a product of the center itself, Islamic Center. Reinforcing Islamic values, generosity, kindness, reach out, forgiveness, and helping out. That's what the religion is all about, is how beneficial you are to other people. It's not how many times you pray, how many days you fast, but how much how much are you beneficial to the other people. Sunday school is, we have our children, they range from 6 to 15 or 16. And the project, and I will talk to this later, it is to provide an environment, a facility, a proper facility for our children to learn. A classroom. Right now, on Sunday school, we have to divide the school by curtains and get some picnic tables and picnic chairs, and it's not inducive to a learning environment. However, we continue till we get better, God willing. So we want to create an environment for our children to feel proud, first of all, and learn, and not to have any distractions, and to feel that you're coming to a classroom rather than to come to a gathering that's divided by curtains. We have interactive arts and crafts, reinforcing Islamic values again, salah practice, all of these things that we are trying to learn and teach our children. In essence, Islamic Society of Simi Valley, as we say it in America, it rocks. We are busy, and we are contributing, and we are happy, and we are grateful to Simi Valley, city of Simi Valley. The majority of us have been here, and I myself have been here over 30 years, raised 2 generations, successful ones, and I really appreciate your attention, and I appreciate that you have given me the chance to speak. Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Asad Khan. I'm with Lang Wilson International. Before we give you the project presentation, I would like to highlight some of our experience at Lang Wilson International. We've been in business for the last 73 years. Our headquarters are in Los Angeles, downtown. We have offices in Newport Beach, and we have offices worldwide in Middle East, China, and Asia. This is a J. Paul Getty Museum. We did and completed in 1974. Mr. Getty had a house here in Malibu, and he came to us and he wanted a museum to put together here. And we extended, and it was a coastal commission. It took us about 3 years to clear that from Coastal Commission to put this museum there on the site. We just about 10 years ago, we just remodeled the whole entire facility. Just to give you a story, Mr. Getty went to Italy and he blocked 40 quarries for 4 years that they cannot sell it to anybody, any material, in order to achieve what we wanted to achieve for the material. So some of you must have seen it, when you go there, their floor plans and floors and walls and ceilings are all cladded with the marble. I know time is running, so I'm going to go quickly. Our second project is very successful again in Yorba Linda for Richard Nixon Library, like you have it around regular library here. So we did it for him in Yorba Linda. Why we did it in Yorba Linda? His family house was there about 900 square feet, where a lot of, about 11 of brothers and sisters were, grew up there. So we successfully did that. We also, of course, as you see it, faith-based projects. This is West Angeles Church is one of the largest church, has 5,000 seats, which we completed several years ago. Very successful project for them. Just to give you the quality of work, we do a lot of institutional work. This is a high school in downtown, in East LA, for LA Unified School District. Very iconic buildings. We got the highest design award on it. Again, coming back to our experience with the faith base, so this is Islamic Center, Bilal Islamic Center at Central Avenue and Martin Luther King. It's all completed projects. Here's another small project in city of Carson. As you see on top it was a metal shop. We turned into this masjid very successfully and did a lot of beautiful interiors, imported a lot of material from different part of the world. And our last project is Aina Levine Jewish Community Center in Scottsdale, Arizona, a 65,000 square feet facility has a gymnasium and classrooms and many other facilities for the youth to the teenagers. Just to wind up, we're going to see our next presentation to the project about this replacement of Islamic Society of Simi Valley. This project will be an iconic project for the city of Simi Valley. I will invite Ziad to continue and go through the presentation about the project. Ziad?
So, good evening. I won't bore you all with the particulars, as the staff and Nurin has done an excellent job explaining it all. So we'll go right into kind of the context and our design process. This is an image that you've already seen from Township, looking at 434 at the existing Islamic Center. And this is the interior that we wanted to point out and the reason for this expansion. Obviously, everything's being used makeshift and kind of off time. And the idea here is not to necessarily expand, but to accommodate what we're already doing in the mosque. And as you can see on the site plan, we've essentially got this octagonal shaped prayer area that gives the directionality for prayer and the support spaces behind it towards Township, which give both the privacy to the prayer area as well as maintain a buffer from residential. This view here, as you can see the key map down, which is really tiny, and I don't know if I have a pointer here, but to the right is the project site area, and that is Town Avenue right in the center, and the residential area. And this is with the existing building. And the next, you'll see our scope and stature of improvement on the site, just as a comparison. Again, looking from Township into the existing building, and what we have there next to the El Patio Restaurant and Plaza for the neighborhood commercial and Houghton Schreiber Park. The idea was to make sure that we stay at that park scale to provide kind of a feeling of the continuity of the park. These are the elevations that you see from the south and east. And this is looking from Township, essentially from the entry. These are the materials that were being referenced earlier on. We're looking at a very solid panel system that would create a very consistent finish on the outside, along with these champagne metallic and bronze finishes, so that there would be a sense of continuity between the facade as well as the accent elements. We do have some grill pattern spandrel elements that you can see down there, and granite pavers, so a significant upgrade to what is already there. This is an aerial view from bird's eye view from the plaza orientation, so you can see the up top view of the scale. There were some questions about the minaret. It's extremely decorative and just an homage to the heritage and traditional element. And there's a significant amount of solar panels that we hope to get up there as well, so that we can offset energy costs and be a sustainable entity. This is looking from the other side, from across the street from the park side. So you can see kind of the scale and element and how it does flow into the general commercial area very well. And in addition to the views that you saw, we have some night views. You can see the grill coming above the glass here and the accents and what we hope to achieve with this. It's a very solid and significantly handsome facade that we're trying to achieve so that there's some pride for the community that has been so dedicated. Here's a night view of how we think this will light up. There's no significant architectural lighting other than the facade lighting that duals as egress lighting around the existing structure. And obviously shaded or a shielded street lighting as well. And that is all we have to share with you today. Thank you.
I do.
Sorry, Commissioner Tolson, please.
I asked this earlier, and maybe you can answer. We're demoing the building. Where are you going to be worshiping during that time?
No, we are the architects. We do that. Existing building, we'll save it. We'll do the two-story structure phase one, and we will maintain the prayer area, and we block it totally so there is no intermingling between construction portion versus prayer area for the community. So that's why we're going to do phase one and then phase two right after that. So we can do in 2 phases.
How long is phase one going to take?
It's going to take about 9 to 10 months.
Thank you.
Vice Chair Mayor.
How many cars do you normally have parked there during regular prayer times?
In regular prayers, Imam can come and join me, and there are only 10 to 15 people come, so it's maybe hardly a dozen cars max.
Have you reached out to the Rancho Simi in regards to the overflow parking? Because
Yes, they have.
We are in communication with them. We're trying to get like an understanding and communication of a certain amount that or certain schedule that we would work because of the Little League Baseball and stuff like that. But we are in contact with them, meaning that we want to get their agreement or understanding that we will communicate to them if we have an overlap of parking. Are you guys going to give us the permission, or do you have any other activities? Sharing the schedule between the two.
have you also reached out to the neighbors?
We're always reaching out to the neighbors. Even when we do any parties and stuff like that, we go and distribute things to the neighbors. We reach out. At times, unfortunately, some don't reach back to us, but we're always extending our hands to the neighbors.
Can you share what the response is back?
I'll come back to you. It's always like normal. You have people that are positive and people who are negative. Okay, we try to foster and concentrate on the positive. Okay. And because life is too short to concentrate on the negative. So we want to get, everybody has their own opinion. But the bottom line for us is the majority of the people agree that we're doing this for the sake of our children, to provide a proper facility, not to expand, but to upgrade what we have so they can sit in a classroom and not feel like they are in a picnic.
Yeah, you also mentioned that being a good person and a good neighbor is a part of your statement. And I'm asking you these questions because that's also youth and that's also in baseball league. That is the majority of the comments that we got is the overflow parking and that concern. And being a good neighbor and a good person, I understand, and I fully support religion and right to worship, but it's also important that we have youth development, and maybe that's a part of their youth development. So are you open to maybe negotiating with a neighboring church when you have a big event?
Absolutely.
Or somebody to have an overflow parking there and maybe shuttle people to
Absolutely. They can walk. It's good for them to exercise. Yes, and we also offer the Little League Baseball on Sundays when they come, when they have any tournaments, they can park. We have never told them no. They can park in our parking lot, okay, on Sundays and other days. Talking about youth development, I have 3 boys and a girl, and they were all in volleyball and soccer and everything. So I believe wholeheartedly in sports and developing the physical ability and the sportsmanship of the kids. I had 2 children that played volleyball for Royal High School, and my daughter was a star in soccer. She scored 12 goals in 1 game. So everybody hated her, but we loved it. And by the way, her name is Janine. She's known. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other commissioners have any other questions?
I did have one more question since the imam just sat down. I was.
Let me take over the.
I'm sorry.
It's good exercise.
Yes, sir.
Walking is good exercise. Yes. This is I think this is a very simple question. But of the 5 prayer times, which one do you think is the busiest of the 5 prayer times?
We have the night prayer is the busiest.
So the one after sunset, is that what you're saying?
Well,
Okay.
it's normally about 9:30 in the evening.
Okay. So that's what I was assuming it was,
15,
and
20
that's what I
people
was looking
maximum.
Okay.
That's the busiest.
for. Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, we'll let you sit down first. Hang on.
I'm walking back.
Yeah, okay. Any other questions? Okay. Is there anyone in the chamber wishing to be heard on this matter? Well, since I have 27 cards, I would assume that yes. Do you have any more cards? Okay. So we're going to limit. We'll get more. When you come up, if you could please just state your name. And I'm going to limit everybody to 3 minutes for the sake of expediency of time. Feel free to take less time to talk. And I will apologize now. The odds of me saying all these names correctly, somewhere between slim to none. So if it kind of sounds like your name, come on up. Yes. Okay. With that, the first speaker wishing to speak, Aman Jabran. You're back up, sir. See? You sat down a little bit too early. Timer.
Children to have the proper facility to learn. And we have been reaching out to our neighbors. We feel very proud we are investing, and this project is very, very important to our community and very essential to the development of our children. Meaning that it's very essential that they feel that they have a place to come and learn, and it's not just a makeshift place. It's a place where they can sit down, they can go to the restroom, and they don't have to wait 4 or 5, 10 minutes when they have to go to the restroom. It's very important because facilities, as far as the restrooms, are not sufficient, and they're not. So this is the purpose. The purpose is we're striving to make it better for our children, to have a better education. And it is important for us to hear the youth that will come up and speak and other people that speak. And we're speaking to you from the heart. I'm requesting that you approve this project. of upgrading, and I call it upgrading of what we have, beautifying the neighborhood for us. It's very important for us that we contribute to beautifying the neighborhood and contribute to the betterment of our neighborhood because we live there. It's important for us. There is a lot of stake that is involved in there. And everyone feels the same way. You know, we come to the masjid or our mosque, our Islamic society, and you will find open arms, people welcoming, and we have never had any problems. We've been there for 12 years. Our youth are exemplary, and they are beautiful in the way that they deal with our elderly, our young, and the people. And you know what? I spoke enough, so I'm going to yield a minute and 40 seconds to somebody else. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Again, my apologies. Zakiya Couture?
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Zakiya Couture, and that's all right. I have been a Simi Valley resident for 7 years. I'm a busy working mother of 3. I'm a litigator attorney. I was in mediation all day, finished at 5:30, put my kids in the car and drove over here. So I'm as tired as you are. But this is super important. Not only do I live in this community, I have a home here. I plan to make this my forever home. And everyone here behind me is part of this community. They live in Simi Valley, and they're part of the Simi Valley Masjid. I am a regular congregant. My kids are there 2 days a week for Quran class and then other, events. And I just kind of want to, Sheikh Gibran, our esteemed imam, has done a wonderful job kind of setting forth what our community is about. But I want to paint a little picture for you about what we experience when we go to our Islamic center. The schools, my kids have kind of graduated from Sunday school, but you saw the pictures of the makeshift, picnic tables and the chairs and the curtains. It is not conducive to learning. It is not conducive to a kind of a welcoming environment. It's very makeshift, and kids, we have to quickly try to set up and have volunteers actually come and pull the chairs apart and put them back together, and then fold everything for prayers and for snacks and things. So it is not helpful for the children. As far as the bathroom goes, I'll tell you a recent experience. We were there for night prayers, and in our religion, we're required to actually wash up and purify ourselves before worship. And I literally, 2 of us were waiting in the single women's bathroom for 20 minutes because I think somebody was having a hard time in there, and we had to suffer. And then the women's prayer hall is designed in such a way where if there's women praying in there, you kind of have to crawl over each other to open the door and hope that you're not hitting somebody as they're praying to try to get into the women's bathroom. So it is not helpful. My daughter and I have 45 seconds. My daughter and I went to, we have a little kitchen that we do community dinners and things, and my daughter and I went and volunteered our time before Ramadan to clean the kitchen, and we spent a couple hours. It is a mess because we don't have enough space to put our condiments and the coffee and the stirrers and the creamer and all of that, and we were trying to put away the coffee makers, and there wasn't enough space in the kitchen, so I asked one of our congregants, where do we put the rest of the percolators? And he said, oh, they go in the closet in the women's bathroom. And so we had to try to, you get the picture. And so it's just really, really important that we, like one of our presenters said, this is not an expansion, it's an accommodation. And we really need the space. I have 7 seconds. And, last year, a couple years ago, when we appeared...
Actually, the red light means you're past time, but go ahead.
When we were here a few years ago, there was a lot of issues about parking and about traffic generation, and the report that we spent a lot of money on clearly shows that there's no impact to traffic. and there's not going to be additional traffic coming in. So I would urge this body to please recommend and say yes to the recommendation of the staff report that's before you, and allow the city council to hear this, because we really, really need this, this renovation. So thank you very much for hearing me out.
Sorry, Aman, she's used all your time, so now you got no more time left. Ryan Kompaknik.
You were close, Ryan Kompanic. So it's Slovak last name. It's a little difficult. Good evening, lady and gentlemen. My name is Ryan Kompanic. I've been a Ventura County resident for 18 years and have attended the Simi Valley Mosque for the past 12. I work in biotech, and I'm an active member of the Simi Valley Interfaith community. Just a little bit background of who I am. I come from a military family. My grandfather served. One died from carcinogen exposure from Camp Lejeune in 1959. The other served in Korea, was wounded, but lived a long life. Furthermore, my father is a retired Navy captain with 28 years of service. Growing up in a military family, we moved frequently and we faced many, many challenges. And we had to make many sacrifices, including attending 6 different school districts in 12 years. Trust me, attending middle school in Philadelphia is a sacrifice. During our time in Naples, Italy in the mid-1990s, my father was deployed by NATO and witnessed the horrors of the Bosnian genocide, resulting in the murders of tens of thousands of Muslim civilians. This deeply affected our family and reinforced our commitment to freedom, justice, and equality. As we gather here today, I'm reminded of these values. Our military, including my own family, has sworn an oath to defend the Constitution, which guarantees the freedom of religion. This principle is a cornerstone of American democracy and allows everyone to worship according to their beliefs without fear of persecution or discrimination. Today, our community faces a crucial decision. Our mosque seeks approval for renovation due to lack of facilities. Some opposition is rooted not in valid concerns about zoning or infrastructure, but in prejudice against Islam and Muslims. Remarks like "go someplace else" echo past injustices faced by African Americans during their struggle for equality. And let's be real, guys. This isn't Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. We're already here. And yes, we are Americans. Denying our Muslim neighbors the right to renovate their place of worship is an affront to our nation's founding principles. It sends a dangerous message that discrimination and bigotry are acceptable. It tells our Muslim American brothers and sisters that they are second-class citizens, that they should be quiet, give up their seat, and move to the back of the bus. But approving the mosque renovation project reaffirms our commitment to inclusivity, diversity, and respect for all faiths. It sends a powerful message that in our community, everyone is welcome. And I know that I'm running low on time, but I'll end this by basically saying this project fosters unity and understanding, creating spaces where people of different faiths can come together and learn. And our interfaith Ramadan dinners with our Christian brothers and sisters is a testament to this. Thank you so much. I urge you. Thank you. Please support our mosque renovation. I appreciate your time.
Saeed?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Peace be upon you all. My name is Syed Mehdi. My family and I have been living here in Simi Valley in the Wild Horse Canyon for 14 years now. Myself, my wife, 3 daughters, all raised here. Our home is 3 minutes northeast of the Islamic Society of Simi Valley. ISSV has been an integral part of our family, raising our children, and I consider it my second home. My wife led the Girls Youth Group at ISSV for many years. Many times we had to host the gatherings at our home because we had more facilities. ISSV has 1 women's bathroom. We have 4. We have much more table space and desk space for the girls to study, play games as they grew up. God willing, you'll hear from my wife. Almost all the girls went off to UC colleges and state of California colleges. ISSV provides parking to both the park during baseball games because we are both part of one community. Many Valley View mothers pick up their kids from ISSV parking lots because it's a safe location. We are proud to share our space as we are both part of one community. ISSV hosts picnics and invite our neighbors. We invite our neighbors to break fast with us during Ramadan. We have open mosque day where all of our neighbors are invited. We do these activities because we belong to one community. ISSV has a lack of facilities. The renovation requested is to increase the number of bathrooms and classroom space. We ask for an increase in facilities to create an environment for our children to learn, as they will be the next generation in our community. I appreciate the time you have taken to consider all about our lack of facilities, and we pray that you will approve the renovations. Thank you, and may God's peace be upon you.
Javaria? I'm trying on the name, so.
Oh, that was pretty good. Javaria, yes. So good evening, may peace be upon you all. As I said, my name is Javaria Mehdi. I'm a Simi Valley resident for the last 14 years and a member of ISSV for almost 12 years. So soon after we moved, the facility as ISSV opened up. And like my husband just mentioned, ISSV has been a very integral part of our family. And my husband and I find peace that we have a community to raise our children. And I was a Girl Scouts troop leader for my middle daughter and her friends for over 6 years, starting 3rd grade. And when they started high school, we decided to turn their group into a youth group. ISSV supported us with space and funded our activities graciously. Our youth group made food packages for the homeless once a month as part of the community services. With a grateful heart, I say that all the youth are continuing their education at schools like CSUN, UCLA, UCI, UCSD, UC Berkeley, and more. And now the next set of youth are being mentored under the leadership of young adults of our own community. I know I'm repeating, but this renovation of ISSV is extremely, extremely needed, and it will be extremely beneficial and required for our youth as there is a huge lack of facility for them. These facilities are much, much needed, especially like more bathroom stalls and classroom spaces for age-related activities. So I really appreciate your time and giving me the opportunity to share my experience and my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you. Malik Salman?
Good evening. Thank you for having me. My name is Malik. I'm a medical student born and raised in Ventura County. So I was a founding member of the youth group in 2013 at ISSV. And I think something that is not talked about and should be talked about more, and I don't know if you guys have heard of the concept of a third space, but it's this sociological term where you have work, you have home. What do you do in the time between, right? It used to be a decade or so ago, maybe more, the library, you'd go to a coffee shop, a park. That's where young people could go and spend time outside of work and home. Nowadays, there's a huge epidemic, like drugs, suicide, all these things all around the country, and a lot of it is attributed to a lack of a third space. So for me growing up, 2013 onwards, mosque was my third space. That's where I spent my Friday nights. So if my friends in high school invited me to a party or to go out or to hang out, it's like, no, I'm going to the mosque. That's where my friends are. That's where I'm going to spend my time. And I don't think I have to talk about the development and the activities and the social work that we've done as a youth group. A lot of people have talked about it, and a lot more people will talk about it. But I think it's just incredibly important to recognize that this space is a space where you got kids, teenagers, high schoolers, middle schoolers off the streets on a Friday night, Saturday night, and they're coming and they're holding meetings. Like we held meetings in the space, in the prayer space. And so to address kind of the development project, I think that the importance here is that we need more space to accommodate for those activities, those meetings that we held. Growing up, we'd eat pizza on the floor of the mosque because we didn't have a room or tables to eat pizza on. So we would set out a tarp, and that's where we had dinners. We held meetings in the prayer space, and if people came in to pray, we had to wrap up the meeting, come back once prayer was done. So bathrooms aside, for a bunch of kids, teenagers, they need a space. The youth group is growing, the population. We're getting older. There are younger people coming up who we're mentoring, and they need a space to accommodate them. So I urge you all to recommend the project. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Adil Mustafa.
Good evening, members of the board. Thank you for your time and dedication to our community. Today, I humbly urge you to vote yes on the renovation of our local mosque, a decision that carries profound significance for our entire community. As a resident and dedicated community service worker for Simi Valley, I am proud to serve our city's pediatric population as a speech therapist, addressing their speech and language needs with unwavering commitment. I pour my heart into my patients, giving them 110% to ensure they thrive to their highest potential, utilizing their voice, empowering their communication skills, and gaining confidence that their words matter. To sustain this level of dedication and commitment to the families I serve, it's crucial for me to find nourishment and fulfillment in my personal life. For me, this mosque is where I find solace and peace. It's a place that rejuvenates my spirit, feeds my soul, and enables me to continue serving our community with the utmost care and passion. Investing in our community's well-being and self-determination is vital. By expanding the mosque, we are not just enhancing a building. We are nurturing a space that fosters support, inclusion, and growth for all. Approval of this expansion sends a powerful message that as a community, you value diversity and are committed to building a harmonious society for all residents. It shows that you recognize the mosque's vital role in providing social services, educational programs, and charitable initiatives that benefit everyone. It represents an investment in the future of our community, ensuring that it remains vibrant and inclusive for generations to come. Let's use this opportunity to demonstrate our shared commitment to the principles of equality, respect, and mutual support. Together, we can create a more inclusive, stronger community that we can all be proud of. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Mujibur, and I do apologize, sir.
Good evening, esteemed members. My name is Mujibur Rahman Sahar. I'm a recent migrant of Los Angeles to Simi Valley. I'll tell you a story why I moved, actually. It's a pretty interesting one. I came here to see Ronald Reagan Library once, and then on the way back, me and my family stopped over for a prayer. And we were greeted and honored at the masjid, and we fell in love with the way they they accepted it, they welcomed us. And obviously we saw the Simi Valley around and we just fell in love with the city. And then we decided to buy a house. And then I moved here 2 years ago. So that's just my personal story and why I'm attracted to this masjid. I stand before you to express my unequivocal support for the construction of the masjid in our community. This endeavor is not merely about erecting a building. It's about fostering a spirit of inclusivity, cultural enrichment, and communal harmony that defines the very essence of our city. First and foremost, the masjid will serve as a place of worship for all Muslim neighbors. It will provide a sacred space for prayer, reflection, and spiritual growth. In a world where we often encounter division and misunderstanding, a masjid stands as a beacon of peace, tranquility, reminding us of the universal values of compassion, charity, and justice. Moreover, the masjid will be a cornerstone for our community service and outreach. It will host programs and initiatives that will benefit all residents, irrespective of their faith. From educational workshops and health clinics to food drives or even charity events, the masjid will be a hub of philanthropic activity contributing to the welfare and the betterment of our entire community. Culturally, the masjid will add rich tapestry to our city diversity. It will be a place where people from all backgrounds can come together to learn, share, and celebrate our differences. This intercultural dialogue is vital in fostering the mutual respect and understanding, making our city a model of inclusivity and tolerance. Economically, the construction of this masjid renovation will bring positive impact as well. It will create jobs both during and after the construction, attract visitors and new residents like me to the area, and contributing to local businesses and economy. It is important to note that the proposal of the masjid adheres to all zoning and construction regulation. The planning community has worked diligently and to ensure a design that's harmonious with surrounding neighborhood, and that includes adequate provisions for parking, traffic management, and environment sustainability. In conclusion, supporting the construction or renovation of this masjid is a step forward towards embracing a value of inclusivity, respect, and unity that are the bedrock of our community. It is an opportunity to demonstrate our commitment to religious freedom and to celebrate the rich diversity that makes our city unique. I urge you, esteemed council, to approve this proposal and allow the construction of the masjid to proceed. Let us work together to build not just a physical structure, but a symbol of hope, unity, and progress of generations to come. Thank you very much, and time.
Najib? N-A, it's either G or Q-I-B, my apologies. Nahib. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Naqib Shifa. I am a high school teacher. I teach history. And I'm here today I want to read a quote from a book on religion and postmodernism. The quote begins, the materialist pillars upon which modernity was established achieved an economic and technological advancement, but failed to satisfy human needs and fulfill the conditions of a stable social life. The postmodern way of life, which was founded on material knowledge, technical know-how, innovation, invention, and dominance of world markets with its products, was not able to give the human soul a ray of light, a hint of spiritual inspiration, or a strand of faith. It was not able to provide any means of peace and tranquility for anxious souls. This is why it was natural for a person living in these conditions to seek happiness in a purely material world and look for ways of alleviating anxieties in ways consistent with it. Indeed, all the postmodern life could offer him was material pleasure and excess of wealth, entertainment, drugs, and material indulgences with which he temporarily engages himself, only to find that he is not satisfied. With the decline of family values and the rise of individualism, the modern man, along with the modernized one, felt his self yearning for freedom from this material prison, searching for a release into the vastness of faith and spiritual light. End quote. So here we are. The Center for Disease Control, CDC, produced some statistics that said in the last 20 years, the rates of suicide in America has gone up 33%. My question is, how could this be? How could it be that we live in the richest country in the history of planet Earth with access to the most diverse material pleasures and amusements and entertainment and all kinds of recreational activity? How can we juxtapose those statistics with that reality with the statistics on suicide? The center that we're discussing tonight seeks to offer a holistic outlook to life, one that is predicated on purpose and spirituality, on spiritual repose. So we're here today to acknowledge that irrespective of the decision, the life on planet Earth is transient. No one will live forever. All this project is seeking to do is to express appreciation for the work that went into establishing this institute in 2012, and to show the manifestation of the fruits of those labors, and to ask that after 12 years, we're requesting an approval for expanding the center for a growing Simi Valley community who is seeking to accommodate more people and who are seeking a place for a sense of purpose to life and spiritual repose. Thank you.
Thank you. Abdul Nasir.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Abdul Nasir. I'm one of the residents of Simi Valley, Wild Horse Canyon. I have been here in Simi Valley for the last 11 years. By profession, I'm an engineer, and at the same time, I have been an adjunct professor and a teacher almost all my life. Everybody talked about some issues that we have, but I'm looking at the positive side. I was looking at the statistics, and 34% of American youth went to universities in 2021. The number jumped to 45% in 2022, and the max that went to university was 68% in 2023. The good news that I have is that, number one, I had the honor of working with the youth at the Islamic Center of Simi Valley. And working with them, it rejuvenated my energy as well. And it gave me that power to work with them as well as guide them to the right as much as I could. Out of all the people that have come to the youth group of Simi Valley, I'll give you 100% of them went to universities. And 50% of this 100% are going to post-university degrees. They are going for master's and PhD. And this is a positive side. As you heard about the issues that we have had, limitation of space, all these things. I have taught in places that we had beautiful screens and everything. But in here, with all these limitations, these kids are growing and succeeding. And that is an honor. And this sky is the limit. And I ask the commissioners to approve the expansion so they will let them go to the next level. I am also part of the board of Simi Valley Masjid. And the last thing that I say is that one of the things that makes me feel good is when I see people, the baseball kids that come play baseball, the family, all of them, when I come to the mosque on Sunday, there's mostly no room in the parking lot because we provide them the parking lot. They can park over there. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Nora Barakat.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Noura Barakat, and I am one of the youth group members that attends the masjid. And I want to start off by saying how our masjid has a very big community. Many others and myself are a part of a group that hosts and creates events for Muslims to participate in. The masjid creates a community that brings people together, creating a space where everyone can connect, support each other, and even grow together. It also invites not only people from Simi Valley, but also from other cities. Over the years, our masjid has grown its community and keeps growing by time. The current space has been hard to host Friday prayers, Eid celebrations, and many special events. Many people had to pray outside during big events because of the small space. By expanding our masjid, we ensure that everyone has a place to worship and participates in activities without the overcrowding. The overcrowding is extremely present during our holiest month of Ramadan. That is the most active place in our community. And as I mentioned, it's not only a place of worship, it's a very big family of community. And I met so many people that I can call family as well. Our youth group is the future of our community, and it's important to provide them with the resources and support they need to improve. An expanded masjid will offer spaces for youth programs, planning events, not only for the youth, but have many workshops, Quran lessons, and many more. There's no harm being done if our masjid is expanded. Some are worried about there being traffic jams and how many people to go to our masjid when it's not really that much of a big of an issue. Yes, there's a school next door, but the times people arrive to our masjid are after work hours, and during Friday prayer, students are in class, and there won't be any children walking by during our hours around the area. Looking around this room and hearing many other speeches and many more after mine proves that how this community is strong and is why this is very much needed. Thank you for letting me speak. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you. It's either W or V. Valid, and Bettini.
Hello, everyone. My name is Waleed Anabtawi. I am a senior at Royal High School and also the president of the youth group of the Simi Valley Mosque. Our youth group holds meetings every Friday night where we hang out with our brothers, plan events, and become better people in general. Our youth group has been going on for many years now, and throughout the years, we have planned events to help our community, feed the homeless, and raise money for tragedies in America and around the world. Our youth group has held car wash events open to everyone, where we raised money for these tragedies. For example, the earthquakes in Syria and Turkey from last year, Hurricane Harvey in Texas 2017, and many others throughout the years. We also held homeless feeding events, and during COVID, we held a COVID testing site outside our mosque. We have became a pretty successful youth group and love holding events to help our community and our neighbors. But we run into some problems, like having to hold our meetings in the main prayer hall, which means we get into people's way when they come in and are trying to pray, especially since our youth group has increased in numbers and more people started showing up. And due to our lack of facility in our mosque, our event planning and for our community has slowed down. Not only does this lack of facility affect our youth group, but also our Sunday school students, who also have their classes in the main hall, where we separate the classes with curtains like we saw earlier, and that's not very feasible. So with this renovation, we hope to create more facilities for our students at Sunday school and our fellow youth group members, which will make a great difference for us all. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Thank you. Dr. Samad El-Alami.
Good evening, everyone. I am an engineer, and I work for a company that work for the peace of mind for the United States. And some of the products I designed go to space and defend our country. Tonight, I want to talk to you about the ISSV. I am one of the founders of the ISSV. I used to come from Chatsworth, where I used to live there in Topanga Canyon. I used to come here to play soccer with my kids in Rancho Cucamonga there. And I felt in love with Simi Valley when some people gathered to look for a place for worship and buy a place. We bought this place. My kids went there as a youth, and they are in the most known colleges, in the Ivy schools. They were accepted in the top Ivy schools, all of them, both of them, they were accepted in all the Ivy schools that they had to choose which one to go to tell you how the youth program work for our community, and we gather together in order to please our neighbors. In our religion, the neighbor is sacred, is our family. We care about them, and they live in Indian Hills there. My neighbor, if he needs his loan, I do it for himself. If he need anything, we help each other. As a community, we love to help other people around us. We love to communicate with others. So as an engineer, part of me, I heard your staff saying that this upgrade will meet all the requirements. One. Second, it does not interfere with any traffic. Third, the minaret we have is, you can look at the minarets. If you go to Morocco, my country of origin, you will see a minaret. If you want to use the speaker, it has to be big. You have to climb up, and you have to use all of that. In here is only a decoration, no more, no less. It's only to show the cultural aspect of the building. This building is going to be nice. It's not like the one it's now. It's going to be an icon for Simi Valley, to be proud, to show that they care about others, and we all live as a community from other faiths, any faiths, and we love each other. So instead of having an old building, you will have a nice building that fits the view and the beauty of Simi Valley and its parks and its buildings. Thank you. I highly appreciate it if you can approve this upgrade project.
Thank you. Danielle O'Day.
Hi, my name is Danielle. I'm a Ventura County resident and an organizer with Buen Vecino, a community organization that serves folks in Simi, Moore Park, and Thousand Oaks. Today, I'd like to urge the members of the Planning Commission to support the Islamic Society of Simi Valley's petition to update their facilities. Not only will approval allow for the construction of a newer, more beautiful, and safer building, but most importantly, the upgrade aims to improve facilities for youth and children. Previously, the mosque size could not accommodate classrooms, and so makeshift rooms had to be used. It would be unnecessarily cruel then to deny youth and children the opportunity to develop morally and learn about their faith, which in fact shares so much with Christianity and Judaism, including generosity, the importance of good works, and respect, which we can all agree on are important aspects in community members. So please don't let prejudice get in the way of providing a safe and welcoming learning environment for youth that they deserve. I would also like to urge the Commission to support the mosque because simply religious freedom is the principle this country was founded on. None other than George Washington himself advocated for religious freedom in his time defending Jewish, Muslim, and Christian denominations' right to practice, arguing that religious freedom was essential for the nation's health and its citizens' ethical development. His assurances to Jewish, Muslim, and Christians alike show that he wanted all people to feel respected, protected, and welcomed. I say we follow this example and support the Islamic Society's mosque for a welcoming and caring Simi Valley. Thank you.
Leo and Tina Peretti.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Leo Peretti. I live on Granville Avenue, just down from the project. I've been here for over 24 years, and I'm against this project. I'm not against this project because they're Muslims. I'm not against this project because of the inclusion. I'm not against this project for any of those other reasons or how many kids go to college. As I take a look at the kids in college, I don't know how great of an idea that is. The problem that I have with that, as my children went to Township and Valley View right up the street, is the traffic and congestion and the parking. It's bad enough when I moved in 24 years ago to this house. When they have the softball or the Little League, It doesn't matter how many parking lots you open. There are just too many people. It's not because it's a mosque. It's not, I'm Christian. I wouldn't even want a church there. When our church got too small, we went and bought property and made it bigger. I think they should be, I feel for their plight for where they're at, because I was in ministry with the special needs for my church for many years, and we too were in that curtain thing and tables blocking each other out, and that's not a very conducive time to learn. But because you have a need, I think that going to this place, you're already maxed out. Just the people in this room would max out that place. You have no room for growth. I would assume that they would grow, because obviously they have. And I'm happy for that. And I'm happy that we are in America and we could express our religion. But if you go down Alamo and some of those other streets, you could see where you have the bigger churches with a lot of parking, a lot of rooms for classroom, and some room to expand. They're starting to build this, beautiful as the building is. You're maxed out right when you build it. And they're not going to lose any members. They're only going to gain it. At least I hope so. So it's a good project, but it's in the wrong place. It's just in the wrong place. We have suffered in the density too, as far as traffic, guys. I'm telling you, I've lived there. It doesn't just go by the time of worship. You're going to have more people coming. Everybody in America has a car. It's going to get bad. I've seen them come into our neighborhood, not them, but when they have things going on, parking in further into our neighborhoods. It's not going to get any better. It's not going to get any better. You know, I don't have the solution for traffic in America, but one thing we can't do is allow an expansion like that, and I know they need it. They're valid reasons. There's nothing I say anything against the reasons that they want to expand. It's just in the wrong place. That's all. You know, it's just in the wrong place. You know, and I have Muslim friends. I love them all. I think you did a nice job presenting your case, but it's just in the wrong place, guys. That's all. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Kiana? Kiana? Hazanda? Okay, we'll put that one on a second call. Dr. Dan Wood. Is that about right? Kiana?
Howdy. One of my goals was to provide you with a name that wouldn't be too challenging to pronounce. So anyway, I didn't write down my remarks, so I'm just going to shoot from the hip. I won't be as eloquent as everybody else, but I'll shoot from the heart. I'm newbie to Simi Valley, by the way. I've been here for just about 3 years, and when I first came here, I noticed that there was this interesting group called the Simi Valley Interfaith Council. I became interested right away and joined them, and one of their mission statements was to foster interfaith solidarity, interfaith brotherhood, or and so forth. And so I was very strongly drawn to that, and that's where I met Ryan. And I had an opportunity to observe some of the ways that they're making a meaningful impact in the community. And my own faith tradition happens to fast on a regular basis, and we realized that during the month of Ramadan, that was a kind of an organic way to intersect with our two faiths. And they very graciously invited us to participate in an iftar, the breaking of the fast during Ramadan, which we've done the past few years. There's kind of a core group of about 14 of us that do that. And we found them to be a very welcoming community. And I've since made it a habit of showing up once a month for prayers on Friday. Again, I'm always made to feel very welcome, and I feel that the sermons that are presented are very much like what I hear at my own faith group. And so I appreciate their interfaith outreach. Recently, I've been involved in starting a new group called the Simi Valley, or the Youth Alliance of Simi, Interfaith Youth Alliance of Simi Valley. Should have written this down. And our mission is very similar to the adult version of what we're doing. We want to create high school youth that are proud of their faith, whatever that faith is, to develop leadership skills and to have them become aware of what other religious traditions are and what they're doing, and give service to the community. And this mosque has embraced that idea. So we have a representative on our board to do that. So the building is beautiful, and I would encourage you, because we're very giving and welcoming community, to give a thumbs up for this. Thank you.
Thank you. Michelle Daniel?
A little stiff from sitting there for so long. I'm Michelle Daniel. I live in the neighborhood south of the mosque. And for one thing, I've not heard about the seating capacity. And one of the gals who spoke said something about the women's prayer hall. So I'm assuming that's separate from the actual main hall or whatever you call it. So I'm just wondering about the seating capacity as far as like the parking and all of that. And I just want to say that we are not here tonight about bigotry or inclusion or diversity. We are here about parking. That's really what it is. I have no problem whatsoever with having a mosque in the neighborhood. I'm a Christian, but it sounds like they're doing wonderful things, great testimonies and all of that. But I object to this proposed development. I'm concerned about not enough parking, as it is on certain religious occasions. The parking heavily infiltrates the neighborhood directly across the street. Having a more than double expansion of this building, I feel, will be detrimental to the neighborhood on the south side of the street and will diminish the peace and tranquility that it now has to offer. It is simply not the right fit for the location. There is not room for that kind of growth. As I learned today, there are only 43 parking spaces, which already is not enough. If the people who are for this showed up, there wouldn't be enough parking for them. There's not enough parking. You are proposing to more than double the square footage of this building, yet you're not adding any additional parking. One other, I feel like I really need to say this. I'm a little astounded how many people in this room tonight did not hold their hand over their heart and did not say the Pledge of Allegiance. I find that problematic to this great country, and I'm kind of a little astounded about that. But anyway, thank you, and appreciate the time.
Thank you. Kareem.
Good evening. My name is Kareem Ismail, and I'm currently a freshman in college, and I am a mentor for the youth group at the Islamic Society of Simi Valley's Masjid. Our youth group focuses on empowering as well as guiding our youth. This group provides a safe and healthy environment for us to grow in. We meet every evening on Fridays with activities, as well as having meetings where we discuss and plan events. Certain activities that we provide would be like Toastmasters, which is a club known across America that teaches youth how to speak in public. And we also have meetings where we plan events that help benefit our community. We've done multiple homeless feeding events in the past. We've done car washes where we donate all of the profits to those in need. And during COVID, we've also provided testing for the community. Currently, we meet in the main prayer hall, which is difficult to accommodate sometimes because other people will come in there, they'll have their own meetings during our meetings, and it's harder for our members to stay focused and engaged. Also, other people will come in and pray, and then we'll have to like leave and then come back and set everything back up, which just really makes it a hassle for us to have our meetings. Along with that, as we gain more members, it becomes more difficult. But with a place for us to have our meetings, it'll be easier for us to plan our events. And we currently keep all our event supplies in the corner of the mosque, which is an eyesore, and it also blocks part of the shoe racks. And in the mosque, there are only 2 bathrooms, one for men's, one for women's, which is a single-use restroom. And during Friday prayer, or like sometimes the restroom could get backed up and there's a wait. And with these new accommodations and facilities for the mosque, we won't have to worry about those any longer. Thank you.
Thank you. Kenneth Alkire? Alkire? I got it the second time? Okay, works for me.
Hi, I am Ken Alkire. I'm a 43-year resident here in Simi Valley. I am not Muslim, but I am in support of this project as an individual and as an active member of the Interfaith Council. I can tell you that all members of our council are also in favor of the project. I have had the occasion to be inside the facility, and I can tell you it is in dire need of redevelopment. The facility is not functional for the intended uses that's been presented here. I've also can tell you that they have generously allowed us, when my kids were involved in softball, to use the parking facility without any problems at all. I believe personally, and the members of the Interfaith Council believe that this facility will add to the physical, spiritual, and cultural beauty and diversity of our community, and we're in full support of it.
Thank you. Charles Durnell?
Hi, I'll try to keep this brief. My name is Charles Durnell. I'm a television editor. I work from home. I am a new homeowner to Simi Valley, and I live on Arlington Avenue, which is the street directly south of the proposed site. I've only been there less than a year, and I can already tell you that Township Avenue is fairly busy at all times. Whenever there's a softball game, there's always overflow into the neighborhood. And recently, during the month of Ramadan, there was nearly daily overflow from the Islamic Society into the neighborhood. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it does prove that their current capacity is to the limit, and I don't see exactly how expanding on this particular site will alleviate that need. The fact is, it seems like this society is fairly successful at their mission and looking to grow. So I have to wonder why this particular site is being used, even when it doesn't seem to serve its current purpose, nor necessarily plan for success in the future. I can understand there would be a lot of crossover parking with the softball fields, with the neighboring churches across the street, possibly even with the restaurants next door. But at the same time, it just doesn't seem like currently or in the successful future, there's going to be enough parking for everyone who needs to be there. I really don't know what to do about that because it's not my place, but it's, I would like the Islamic Society to have a place where they can grow, not just meet their current need. And that's all I really have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Aya Alu?
Oh my God. Which was the last name?
A-L-I-O-U. We got the right Aliyah? Okay, we'll just call you up next.
Good evening, esteemed members of the City Council. My name is Aya Aliwa, a current student studying healthcare management in the Los Angeles area. My parents live here in Simi. I grew up here in Simi, and I always consider Simi to be my home. I moved here when I was 12 from West LA, and I remember it was such a culture shock that I could go into a grocery store and find my teacher shopping at the grocery store. I have been an active volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club, the Senior Center, and the Simi Public Library. At the Boys and Girls Club, I witnessed how a welcoming and well-equipped environment can transform the lives of young people, providing them with a safe space to learn and grow. At the Senior Center, I saw how essential it is for our elderly residents to have a comfortable space where they can connect with others and receive support. And at the Simi Public Library, I experienced the joy of community members coming together to share knowledge and resources in a space designed to foster learning and interaction. It's important to have spaces that support our diverse needs so we can appreciate the sense of community here and the spirit of service that defines our city. The mosque is more than just a place of worship. It's a cornerstone of our community and help many find their peace of mind. I remember seeing kids wait at our mosque for their parents after school, just because the parents realized it was safer to wait at our mosque than outside on the road. I grew up extremely shy, and I found it extremely hard to speak in front of large crowds of people, and I would stutter and avoid public speaking at all costs. Joining Toastmasters at the masjid really helped me develop my speaking skills. Being part of the girls' youth group, and now I'm on the board, helped me plan events, develop friendships, and become a mentor to other girls. There's only one mosque here in Simi, so we simply can't go to other mosques two streets down, because the nearest one is 20 minutes away, either way, going to Chatsworth or going to Canoga. To us, the mosque is not only a space to pray, it's a space to find our solace and be a part of a larger community. Supporting the mosque's renovation, and I say renovation because it is a renovation upgrade, it's not just about accommodating a place of worship, it's about recognizing and nurturing a vital community resource. It's about ensuring that the values of compassion, service, and unity continue to thrive in Simi Valley. As someone who has grown up here and benefited from the spirit of this community, I urge you to approve this mosque upgrade. And I end this by saying the name Simi in Simi Valley is derived from the Chumash Native American word Simi, which means thread or string. Just as threads create a beautiful and resilient tapestry, our diverse community comes together to create a vibrant and harmonious Simi Valley. Thank you.
Thank you. Hiya. And I don't see a card for you, so if you could just, when you have a chance, fill out one. Okay, it probably just got lost somewhere. But please, come on up regardless. Come on up.
Yes. Hello, so as you probably have figured, my name is Aya Lalami. I'm a Simi Valley resident. I own a home with my husband right near Simi Valley High School. I was actually born and raised in Simi Valley and went to Valley View Middle School and Simi Valley High School. And as most students do, I went away for college and later attended law school on a full scholarship at the age of 19, becoming the youngest law student at Loyola Law. I then moved back to Simi Valley, dragging my husband with me, and you've met him right over there. I am now an attorney at a large law firm in Century City, and I commute an hour and 42 minutes each way every day so I can live in Simi Valley and be surrounded by the community that I've grown up with. I wanted to tell you who I am so that I can now explain to you how I could not become the person I am today without the mosque. While I was at Valley View and Simi High, I would go to youth group at the mosque where we would plan helping the homeless events, learn about how we can contribute to our community, and most importantly, how we can advocate for ourselves and our community members. And please, make no mistake, when I say community, I am talking about our neighbors here in Simi Valley. As a 16-year-old at Simi High, I coordinated a candle visual for those lives lost in the 2015 San Bernardino school shooting. That is because I wanted to give back to my community, just like the mosque taught me. The mosque renovation plan is to encourage more youth, like I was, to come and learn how to give back to their community. I can't think of a better way to keep kids out of trouble. I came back to Simi Valley so that my future kids can go to the wonderful schools I went to in Simi Valley and can also learn all the values that I learned at the mosque. This renovation will only incentivize kids to come to the mosque, and they can carpool with their parents. We'll be fine. It also shows that these kids can be surrounded by their community members and continue to learn. We should be unequivocally supporting this renovation, not attempting to stop it. I truly hope that this council will not be dissuaded from providing more kids with access to the mosque resources and of approving this plan because of something as minimal as traffic. I ask that you approve the renovation so that the youth in Simi Valley can not only have access to other members of their community, but so they can become leaders who can come back to Simi Valley as adults and share what they have learned with us, just like I did. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Carol Knutson?
Hi there. My name is Carol Knutson. I live in the neighborhood below the mosque, and the picture that you showed, you could see my house on that picture. I've lived there since I was in the 2nd grade. My parents were the original owners of the house. When they passed away in 2012, I became the owner of the house. And my daughter, my son-in-law, my 2 kids that are my great niece and nephew that I'm raising, and my husband all live there. We have been out of the house for the last year because we had a house fire, but we're due to go back in, hopefully by the end of this month. I want to say that the imam is right, that this community has been nothing but kind. They have gone door to door when they have events to invite. They're a wonderful community. But I am still against this project due to the fact that it does not fit in that small space. When this came up in 2020, I spoke at that time, and I talked about the traffic, my concern for the pedestrians in that area when it's Friday prayer time. My daughter was going to Valley View at the time, and I was concerned for her safety when she crossed that street. There's no crosswalks. We have people coming to Friday prayer time speeding up the street because they're late. And at the time, the council said something about putting speed bumps on the street. I talked about doing a traffic study. But your traffic report, I'm very curious at what time of day they were there, if they were there during their peak times, to do a study, because how I saw that, it looked like you were studying from other areas that were similar of size and not directly in this area. Because my traffic study, when I went up there to watch my daughter cross the street at Friday prayer time, it was a circus up there. And I was concerned kids were running across the street in the middle of 3 and 4 cars stopped. Cars coming up our street trying to cross both lanes of traffic to get into the park. So it is a concern for me personally. My daughter no longer goes to Valley View. It doesn't affect me personally, but my neighbors have kids that are growing up and are going to be crossing that street. So those are my concerns. We're relying on you guys, the planners, to plan this. And I don't think that you took us, the neighbors, the people that live there, into consideration at all. And I go to church. My church is in a commercial community off of Easy Street. And when we grew, we added another service. But we're not impeding on neighbors, and this impedes on us. And so that's what I had to say.
Thank you. Shannon Valdez. Okay, we'll put Shannon on second call. Martin Valdez. Okay, second call. Nasat Michelle.
Good evening, esteemed commissioners. My name is Nashat Mshail, and I challenge you to do to follow.
Yeah, no.
I'm actually the president of the board of directors at the Islamic Society of Simi Valley. I've been a president for 5 years. I'm an engineer by education. I work for Amgen. I am a corporate engineer that does technical engineering lead on most of my projects where we expand and build manufacturing facilities for Amgen. And I understand the concerns that being brought up here by our neighbors. I truly understand it. But I think what's missing there is the fact that, yes, we are expanding our building. But we're expanding square footage, but we're not expanding usage. We're adding the square footage to meet current needs. And that is important to understand. We're not making the upgrade to this facility to meet future needs. This is really to address current needs. And I don't want to go over the things that already many speakers have addressed thus far, so I will not be repeating those needs. We as Muslim community in Simi Valley and neighboring areas, whether it's to the east or west, the majority of our people are professionals, engineers, healthcare, doctors, lawyers. And we're trying to also provide education for our kids. We want our kids to be well-rounded religiously and universally. And this masjid will provide part of that. And I say masjid because that's the word in Arabic, although people call it mosque. So just to make it easier to understand why you hear masjid or mosque, the Arabic word is called masjid. Now, when people are telling you that, okay, because of 4 days a month, we should be moving somewhere else, then should the schools be moved somewhere else because of the time of the day when they're released and the time of the day when they enter? Should the park be asked to move somewhere else? We understand if our masjid capacity is going to be beyond what we need, we will actually go somewhere else, but we will maintain this building, this beautiful building that we hired a renowned architect. We did not want to do something just off the cuff. So we are making a landmark here, and we will continue to serve this community in the best way possible. And we will, if we have the need to go somewhere else, we will not go somewhere else. Our building will stay, but we will build a larger facility somewhere to serve the community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're almost done. If I can get everyone just to try and adhere to the 3 minutes, please. Ruth Levinos.
I would hope you'd say my name correctly. Hi, my name is Ruth Levinos, former Simi Valley City Councilwoman, 23-year resident here at Simi Valley. I can tell you for a fact, well, I want to say something first. We need to stop with the dog whistles with this whole thing about parking. It's not a parking issue. I can tell you because my kids were in the summer camp, day camp there at the RSRPD building that is adjacent to the mosque. My kids, my son was in the Little League baseball. That is when traffic is the worst. That is when people park all over the neighborhood, is when they have the Little League games. And I can tell you that every time my kids were in summer camp, day camp at that RSRPD building, and every time my kids were in the Little League, the mosque always offered up their parking, always offered up that support. This is going to be a beautiful addition. No one has talked about the aesthetics. Part of your job as planning commissioners is to make sure that you can add to the community, beautify the community. We have an opportunity here. You have an opportunity as commissioners to add to the aesthetics of this community. That is a beautiful building that is going to be designed by someone who designed the Getty Villa, and we're going to turn it down? Wow. That would really be a disservice to this community. That is a beautiful building. It will add to the aesthetics of the community, of the building. The traffic study is accurate. How could it not be? Those are professionals who were hired to do that. That's what they studied to do. You heard the Imam Gibran mention that at peak times, there's maybe 15 to 30 people there. I saw a lot of people carpooling here. They're not all there at the same time, just like not everyone of the parish that I go to is there at the same time. We have thousands of parishioners at St. Peter Cleaver. We don't all go at the same time. People go to different masses. People go to different services. You're not going to have everyone here at the same time at the masjid. That's just not going to happen. So the reality is this is not about parking, because the parking is the worst when they have the Little League games, and they've already offered to have parking there. The aesthetics is the first reason why you should approve this. The other part is they are a pillar in this community. During COVID, I called several, and we had food distribution. We had someone that offered to bring hundreds of pounds of food to the community here in Simi Valley. I called several faith community leaders. The only one that answered my call was Imam Gibran. And I said, hey, I got all this food we can distribute to people in the community in Simi Valley. He said, give me an hour. And he called me back an hour later, and he had volunteers, he had logistics, he had trucks, and we came and they distributed the food at the mosque. Okay, who else? Who else does that? At the drop of a hat, when the community needed the mosque was there. Mayor Mashburn has been to that mosque. I have been to that mosque. I had to, when my Muslim friends before this mosque was built, I would go with them to visit to other places, to a mosque that was 20 minutes away. This is a pillar in the community. This is part of the Boy Scouts 12 Points bike ride. I'm almost done. This provides wholesome youth activities for families, even those who are not Muslim, and they invite everyone. And it provides parking for a number of activities, including, and it's going to help the businesses as well. The adjacent businesses, El Patio, the Greek restaurant, it's going to help those businesses as well. Think of all the good that this upgrade is going to do to the community, especially the beautiful building. Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you. Samir? Summer? Welcome.
Hello. Good evening. My name is Samir Ismail. Oh, give me a minute. Good evening. Okay, I'm kind of short. Okay, good evening. My name is Samir Ismail. I am a 5th grader at Vista Elementary. I go to the mosque a lot and I enjoy being there. I enjoy playing with my friends there. But how will we play games in like such a small area? Because like we barely have any room. Small, yeah. Second of all, when I go to the mosque on Sundays to learn about my religion, we need classrooms, but all we have are curtains, tables, and chairs to use. We have to separate us. Third of all, we need a bigger prayer area so it's not too crowded, because usually people have to pray outside and it's cold outside. And last but not least, the bathrooms. We have we have 2 small bathrooms, one for men, the other for women. And if you need the bathroom, somebody's probably in there. And it will, yeah, and it will form a long line. That's why I would love an expansion for our mosque.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Also for that reason, so you want triple with it.
Abraham Kala? Nope. EBR AHIM? Ebram? Okay, second call. Jesse Sakaya? I know I got Jesse right.
Hello, my name is Jessie Salka. I have lived in Simi for all 27 years of my life. I grew up here, played basketball at Simi High, and even worked at the local DIY. Too often I've been surrounded by voices who critique Simi Valley, who slander without pause, preconditioned narratives of people, and by guilt by association being slumped altogether and painting Simi Valley as something less than a good place to be. But to me, I have loved Simi Valley. Growing up, Simi has always been a place filled with places of faith. It feels as if you can't even cross a street without running into many multiple places of worship. Our community doesn't have a lack of diversity or respect for faith, but rather an absence of understanding what Islam is. I accepted Islam back in December of 2021, believing that there is only one God worthy of worship and that Muhammad, peace be upon him, is his messenger. I am a Muslim, and I am commanded to be kind to my fellow Muslim, to be kind to my parents, and to be kind towards my neighbor. I urge you to consider that this is the mosque where I met my husband, where I teach Sunday school, and where I break fast with my friends. We are advocating today that we upgrade on and in an already established area. I end with this. Muslims come to the masjid to worship God. As a woman who loves to attend, I would ask you to consider that your approval will allow everyone who already attends or anyone who is curious to come more comfortable space to worship God. All praise, thanks, and glory are due to God for allowing me the ability to speak and stand before all of you. Thank you all.
Thank you. Noor? Okay, we'll put her on second call. Abdella?
Hi, good evening. My name is Abdullah Zitawi, and I came here to support this project because I came here 10 years ago from North Carolina, Greenville, by the way. Sorry. So I support this project because I moved here 10 years ago, and even though I never been here and I never knew anyone here, but even they were nice and gentle and they were welcoming. Everyone was here, gentle, green.
Take a minute, you're fine.
Okay, sorry. People were okay. Sorry, I'm a little nervous.
It's okay. Take your time.
People were very welcome and they were supporting me. Like through my years, like you were teaching me new things that I never knew. For example, I'll give you is Toastmasters, like how to do public speaking and how to be grateful and then how to learn new things from each other. So, and that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you. Absence any other cards? This will be the last one. Oh, maybe one more. Okay. We got. No worries. Atif Akbar.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Good evening, everyone. I'm actually one of the Sunday school teachers at the masjid. And as the president of the masjid said, for the past 7 years, we've had about 50 to 60 students that attend Sunday school. So the number never increased. So we're not asking for the masjid that in the future it's going to grow. What really happened is that when our needs for space grew, in Moore Park, about 12 miles from here, east of 118 freeway, a second masjid opened. So a lot of people naturally went over there, and that's where a lot of people are praying, because if this place is full, they obviously go there to pray. I, as a Sunday school teacher, find it that our students just simply need maybe a second floor, maybe classrooms with actual walls in between, chalkboard, things, the supplies that when I'm talking to the curtain on the other side, there's some teacher talking on the other side, and sometimes I have to go over and say, shh, can I just explain my point here a little bit? So from just the perspective, and number two, what I heard from the people who opposed the project about parking, right on Tapo Street and Alamo, there's a huge multifamily apartment building coming up. I didn't hear anyone here say that those 50 apartment buildings are gonna create a huge parking, and where are we gonna go then? I live off of Cunard, and 25 new homes were approved off of Cunard, and all that serene, beautiful mountain area became constructed with homes. So there's about going to be 50 new cars there. How far are we going to keep running away from parking issues? CME is going to be here to expand as a city. More people are going to come in. But simply just stopping a project because of parking issues, CME, when I moved here in 2015, I think 30% parking has increased, 30% traffic has increased in Simi Valley, just because people keep moving in here. It's a good city to live in. So we can't simply run away from the parking issues. But if parking is this issue, then stop constructing new homes every single nice nook and cranny of Simi Valley, because it's going to be a parking issue for everyone. So I speak from the heart that my students just need real classrooms. When I drive on Alamo and I see Simi Valley Covenant Church, and I see they have a proper building, proper classrooms, a proper residential area, huge parking lot, basketball, tennis court, everything that you need. And I come to Simi Valley, and we all have to just be in one place. We eat there, we sleep there, we poop there, we do everything in one place. That's the reality of it. And then when we're about to pray, all those pizza crumbs, they go in my nose because I have to put my hat on the same carpet. It's just the reality. Every Sunday we do this, vacuuming, cleaning. So I ask honorable commissioner members that if the population is going to grow for this community, someone will build another mosque in some part of Simi Valley closer to their community, just like Moore Park, just like Chatsworth. There are at least 8 or 9 mosques in the 12 or 10 mile square area of Simi Valley and San Fernando Valley. We just keep building more of them because they meet the need of the community. This particular one is because our students don't have a place to properly study. I ask you to consider this. from not any other need, just because we just need more space for our 50 to 60 students. And as far as Friday prayers are concerned, 5 more seconds, people who come for Friday prayers attend this masjid because they happen to be working in this neighborhood. They're not really the residents of this neighborhood, because Friday prayers are at 1 o'clock. So if somebody who works in Simi Valley, they may be living in Chatsworth, Santa Clarita, anywhere, they come to the closest masjid. They're not really the residents here. So it's only busy for that time. And I pray in another place, in Conejo Valley, sometimes in Reseda, sometimes somewhere else. So I'm going to yield right now. Thank you so much for listening to me. God bless you all.
Thank you. Mona El Alami, did your dad tell you to come over here and talk?
I heard the stories about Alan the man, so.
Gotcha. Sure, your dad texted you, so get up there.
He did, actually. So, hi, everyone. Thank you all for allowing me to speak. This is something, actually, I've been very passionate about since I was a very young girl. I am a Muslim. I grew up Muslim. I've lived in Simi Valley my whole life. And I've gone to UC Berkeley as an energy engineer. And then I was one of the lucky students who got part of a leadership group right out of college, and I went traveling for the 3 years after. So I'm blessed to have gone and lived in Southampton in England. I've lived in Portland, Oregon, and I've lived in San Diego, all of which I visited all of their beautiful mosques. And every time I look at ours, I get a little shy. I mentioned it's humble. It's not grand, it's not beautiful, it's, no offense, it's hardly presentable sometimes. It does not reflect the beauty of the people in it, and it does not reflect the beauty of what it stands for, its values, and everything in between. The cars will be there, the people will come, not because of the building, but because of what the building means. Meaning that the car issue, we'll find a way. If we need a traffic, whatever, we will figure it out. We are steadfast in that mission, and we will find a way. I guarantee it. I know it. This has been an issue all over Simi Valley. I've seen so many new buildings grow, and we haven't stopped those from continuing to grow. I know because my dad did have expansion projects, and he came every time to make sure they happened. We will be back if this doesn't get approved today, because we will not stop on this mission and vision. We are so, we believe in it. And I mean, I don't know who else came running from work after just to come present or just to come hear how this came about. So there was a couple logistics points I did want to reach, but definitely my heart is for this expansion. I want it to be a place where I'd be proud to bring my kids. I'd be proud to show my friends. And right now, I could just say the inside is what's beautiful, and I wish one day the outside would reflect it as well. I'll have some time. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you. Last card. Hiba Savon.
Hello, my name is Hiba Sadikan, and today I want to tell you why we need this expansion for the ISSV. We really want the building to be more accommodating for kids, adults, and our youth. We want to welcome everyone in, and we want to help them with different skills at the masjid. We really want to have more space so more children can learn. We have social events, and we also have different programs that help kids learn how to speak in public and not become shy. The ISSV has done so many charities, food deliveries, and auctions for our community. We want everyone to see the beauty of our masjid, inside and out. We want our mosque to be an open source of help. We also want a place that doesn't limit who can come in. Instead, we want everyone to join our programs. Finally, we want to make our community even better than it already is. Let's work together to build us a better future. Thank you.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Aya, we found your card, by the way. Okay. So we have some second calls. Did Noor ever make it back in? Okay, by all means.
Hello, everyone. My name is Noor. I am a former president of the ISSV Girls Youth Group. I've been attending this mosque for a few years, and before I go into what it means for me, I do want to address some things that were brought up today. In terms of the parking and how busy the masjid is, it is mainly busy during Friday prayers, which is 1 hour every Friday. The construction or renovation of this building should not be stopped due to 4 hours every month, where most of the people, as mentioned before, are simply coming from their jobs and leaving. Other than that, the masjid is busy at night, where parents drop off their children and leave. In terms of what this masjid means for me, I moved here from Jordan and was faced with culture shock immediately when I moved here during middle school. I was very shocked by the environment and by the language used here. However, this masjid quickly became a safe space for me, and I found people who I now consider my family. However, it is not sustainable, and it is sad to see children having to learn in an environment that is not nourishing. Women have to sit outside during Ramadan until 12 a.m. in the cold since it is too crowded inside. I've also seen women crawling over each other since the space is too small to accommodate everyone. This building this opportunity to grow as a community should not be deprived due to only 4 hours every month. And as previously mentioned, in terms of pedestrians and crossing, there's only been 2 accidents in the past since 2015. I urge you all to please consider this, as we as a community want to grow and feel like the future generation is in good hands. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, also second call, is it Abraham Kalka, K-A-L-C-A? Martin Valdez? Shannon Valdez? Kiana Hazenda? Okay. Oh, sorry, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry, I guess I didn't catch it the first time around, but I'm Kiana. I grew up in the Valley, not too far away, and moved to Simi Valley about a year ago. I work as a nurse in the community. I studied at UCSB. I moved to the DC area where I served veterans, I served refugees, politicians, everyone. From all over the world. I moved here. I'm now working in the school system as a nurse and serving the community in that way. What I'd like to say is that moving to Simi Valley, I was super excited to meet people who got my background, my faith, that kind of thing. And seeing how there's such a beautiful community here who is so steadfast. I mean, the youth held an annual conference at CSUN. They executed it. They executed amazingly, planned it all by themselves. They really are amazing. And I was so proud to see that. What I'd like to say is that parking, I see how it can be an issue, but I don't see how it can be something to hold back such a construction for a building that already exists, already has a community that's already been here for a long period of time. Are we trying to get rid of the community and move them somewhere else? Because that's not going to happen. It's a steadfast community that is not, I don't want to say it's growing in a crazy number where you have to be worried about so much traffic, but it exists, it has existed, and all we want is just to be able to pray in dignity. I mean, moving here, I've gone to other mosques around the valley, Orange County, even Thousand Oaks. Thousand Oaks has a beautiful, beautiful masjid, a beautiful mosque. And it brings such a nice aesthetic to the community. I mean, we discussed how, having the person who made the Getty happen, being able to have that here in Simi Valley, that's such a draw. And people go to see Islamic architecture in the Getty. Why not come and see actual Islamic architecture in real life here in person? I mean, it's an amazing draw. And all I want to say is that all I am really asking for is that we can pray with dignity, you know, to have to move outside. And we don't have crazy events happening all the time. Like she said, it's 4 hours out of the month. We don't tell people to stop having baseball games or move their baseball park somewhere else. It's something where we just want to have a space where we can pray with dignity. We're putting our heads on the ground, bowing, you know, prostrating, and we just want a space to do that without. Already there's these stereotypes of Muslims being uncivilized or backwards or uneducated and all these things. And we just want a space that looks dignified and shows the progress that we have made as American Muslims and the progress that we want to continue to make in a positive way. So, I mean, I didn't come here with a prepared speech. I'm one of those people that came after work and I found out about it and I was like, I want to speak about it. So, yeah, that's kind of all I really have to say. But I am in favor. Yeah, thank you.
Really, we're down to the last two cards again. Juan Miguel?
Good evening, Board. Thank you for taking this time, and I greatly appreciate how generous you are with allowing the speakers to give an extra time, and how kind and polite you are. That hasn't been my experience in the past. I really thank you. So, with that said, my name is Juan Miguel. I've been living here for a long time. It's just so you guys know, El Patio, I opened that restaurant with the current owners. And the traffic issue has always been like that. And that's a reality in Simi Valley, as many people already say. Where I live in the west side of Simi Valley. There are schools, there are parks, and I see a lot of traffic around my house, and it's just a new reality that we have to adapt to it. And as long as they do it safely, I don't think there should be an issue, and we can learn to share the space. And I went to the mosque one time, and I was so impressed about how organized they are, and I also was so impressed that the high school kids were assigned to do an event for the community, and they were just fantastic. And to me, it just told me that it's a good way for them to learn life skills. And as I said, once again, you know, parking is an issue. I go to San Rosa Lima. The church building is about 1/5 of the land, and there is always traffic. Sometimes I go to St. Peter, about the same. And on Sundays, there is service every hour, and there is always a parking issue. So I empathize with the people who have issues with the parking, but it's just a new reality. And for what I see, they are willing to accommodate and help, as you know, to make it safer. So I really appreciate it that you guys really vote yes for this one. And lastly, I want to say to a few of the parents, they know me. I coach soccer for a long time. Sometimes they know me as a Coach Juan. So I might coach your daughter or some other kids. So they are really nice people that we should be proud of it. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Last but certainly not least, Kareem Jabran.
Thank you. Sorry I was a little late. I was coaching volleyball. It's good to be here and respect the process of filling out the cards. And if anybody didn't know, this actually raises and lowers, so a little different on this side. My name is Kareem Jabran. I've participated in many boards or foundations in Simi Valley. Some with you, some adjacent to you. I've supported Education Foundation, Police Foundation, many things in Simi. This has been my home for over 30 years. So I won't tell you how much older than 30 years I am, but I'm getting a few gray hairs. In my day job, I'm a construction executive. I work for a large-scale general contractor focused in healthcare. So over the past 3 years, I just completed a new cancer hospital at City of Hope, worth about $300 million. I was the lead on that project. For reference, the approval process took about a year to get that off of the ground. So from planning all the way to finish, it was 3 years. That's 350,000 square foot. I'm not advocating to put that on this site, certainly, but for reference, I would just encourage you to take that as a note. I want to appreciate the job that you do as planning commissioners. I think you're all up here volunteering your time to make sure that our community is the best that it can be. It makes you feel it in your heart. I've lived in Simi since I was a little kid. I know there was a lot more vacant fields back then where you could go and throw rocks or ride your bikes, and those have been developed because we're getting more people in Simi Valley, and it's great that the community is growing. We need more kids in the schools too, just as a plug. And I just want to say thank you for considering all these tough issues. So as I've watched in the past, I've watched many planning commission meetings. I've even spoken at some in the past about development for new housing, everything else. I've seen a common refrain about parking or don't park in my neighborhood. I've heard that a lot. And all these projects were greenlit. All these projects move forward. Housing density, housing brings more density. I think approving an enhancement of an existing facility with an existing community does not increase density. So there are definite valid concerns that people have brought up, and it's your job to assess those, but I don't think those override what the community is trying to do here. And as we've all seen with the cost of housing, with interest rates rising, a lot of us may want to go and buy a new, bigger house, but we physically cannot because of all those prices. I know Commissioner Mann as a realtor, and you've seen that in real life every day. So I think that allowing them to enhance this building the way it is, it's an existing community, it's not going to be any more. I know that there has been positive developments with coordination and collaboration with the Park District, as well as the local church there for sharing. You've heard about baseball and all that. I think it's really a positive thing. So in our community, the schools, the places of worship, the parks are really the center of what makes Simi Valley the place that I wanted to come back to, raise my family in. And I really urge you to move forward with this being the timely manner, and I appreciate your time here, and that's all my comments. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Before we get to the reading of the cards and the rest of this, we're actually going to take about a 5-minute break so that we can stretch our legs up here. So about 5 minutes, we'll be back. Thank you all. Okay, let's get started again. I'm going to go ahead and read all the names of those people that are in support but did not wish to speak. And again, I will apologize for the names. Solomon Khan. I thought he spoke. Okay, he has 2 cards. Anwar Shah. Ahmed Lakat. Aya Fayad, and again, all of these are in support. Samaya Khan. Amir Shah. Rafael Shah. Shiraz Shah. Khaja Mohammed. Sharik Akhtar. Again, I'm apologizing up front for the names. Mumbar Rahman. Munabar Rahman. Sahid Shah. Sahid Hussain. Mustafa Yaftali. Rahim Khan. Zara Hassan. Sami Shiblik. Javeed Raja. Shiraz Shamis. Shamis. Thank you. Adam Bakanat. Mohammed Ayed. Ibrahim, I think it's A-Z-Y. Mahmoud Bahalt. Faison Fatima. Saeed Peer. Khalid Peer. Ali Marza. Mohammed Rahil. Nanha Nazi. Akron Nazi. Close. Imad Mihada. Haimra Hussan. Amreen Khan. Again, all these are in support. Farhan Khan. Humaira Kumpenik. Rebecca Mashil. Noor Anjay. I think Noor spoke. Jude Anji. Something Gurel. Ozgur. Ramli Khalif. Bakar Al-Najeh. Close. Hila Argandawal. Ooh. Yay. Yeah, but I'll screw up the next 10. Mohammed Kadar. Mohammed Shirazi. Farhuna Akhtar. Basim Ajum. Tahsin Kumar. Mir Shafa, Muhammad Khuzd, Khused, Mary Norze, Mohammed Norze, Shams Norze, Zach Norze, Yusuf Banakat, Luai Nomani, Mohammed Ferris, Mason Barakat, Amir Salam, Sahar Kananan, Zach I. Ayad, Mauricio, my apologies, Merchant, Ahmad Faris, Ashad Shika, S-H-A-K-I-H, Sheikha, thank you. I'll get it right this time. Aksa Sheikha. Abdul Rahim Pathis. I can't make out the last name. Oh, this is a good one. Shakalter Ali. Okay, I'll believe that one. Kerman Khan. Elmer Navarrete. Hisham Ismail. Shireen Omar. Sahil Budcha. Armin Wood. Deep Barkat. Sana Shah. Zoman Khan. Mohammed S. Naseev. Dayut Akabarni. Laila Muhammad. Layla. Sarah Ali. Tahir Malik. Muhammad R. Khan. Amrin Azai. Shafarla Couture. Ahmed Omajai. Farha Anwar. Aziz Ahmad, sorry. Amal Merchant. Asreen Akbar. Mona Elami. See, we found the card. Yosef Khan. Abdul M. Sadoui. Mohammed Dwabe. Hadril Dwabe. Albaji Gulfshin. Lukwat Ali. I think I'm almost done on those. Mitor Sedgian. Okima Adawai. Bouehr, I think, Bouehr, AIOL. Anybody? I can only read what I can try. Mande Akena, Mahai, M-A-H-A-I. Ashaf Ferris, Ashif Ferris. Wanid Budshah. Abdi Harman Alana, A-L-I-O-N-A. Sarah A-K-S-A-R-A, I think, Akari. Moitur Rahman. Fazi Safi. Ziad Kulandala, Kinerdala. Kushard Kinnerwala. Abraham Norze. Ashmut Norze. Mohammed Tahir. Sahar Sindain, S-C-D-I-D-A-I-N. Hiba Sidanian? No, there's not an A in there, one. Muzmil Saganian? I'm working on it. Mohammed, one more time, Sagin. That's it. All those are in, one more, sorry. Stephanie Bunker. All those are in support but did not wish to speak. I have some up here that did not indicate whether they're for or against. If you're here and you want to just speak out, that would be fine. Nada El Hamare. 4. She's 4. I'm assuming we can trust you, right? Okay. Ramisa Alabari. Okay. And I'm 4 or against? 4? Okay, 4. And then in opposition, for those that wished to speak but actually didn't, Abram Kala was in opposition. Martin Valdez in opposition. Shannon Valdez in opposition. Randy Menard, opposition. Jean Anderson. Anna Anderson. And Jesse Morris are all in opposition. So now we've read those into the record. I know I'm infringing on your space here. Okay, you get those. You get those. Now, are there any comments from staff regarding statements made during the public hearing?
I have almost forgotten what this project is about, but yes, staff have some responses to some of the comments.
By all means.
There was one question about the seating capacity of the institution that was raised. As I mentioned before, Simi Valley Municipal Code Section 9-34.060 is what determines our parking requirements for various uses. When it is a church or other places of worship where there are no fixed seats, and I'm going to read actually directly from the code, where fixed seats are not provided, parking shall be required at one space per 35 square feet of assembly area. As such, the building has 1,470 square feet of worship assembly area, which requires 42 spaces of parking, and 43 spaces of parking are provided. So in terms of parking on site, the project meets the development code requirements. I'm going to defer to the city's traffic engineer, Justin Link, who will respond to some other comments with regard to traffic congestion and overflow parking. Thank you.
Thank you, Naran. Carrying on with the parking comments, so the main comment of the evening was that parking supply is inadequate. We need to make the distinction here, I think, that as the project does meet its code requirements, what we don't do when we assess parking requirements of a project is park based on unusual uses. So we don't park parking lots at shopping centers based on Christmas parking, and we don't park churches based on Christmas and Easter parking. Otherwise, there would be 30 to 40% of the lot not being used. So in this case, it meets the requirements. Yes, there's going to be some overflow, much as you would expect from a Catholic church or a Christian church during those various holidays. It's just on the parishioners, if you will, to exercise courtesy with respect to the neighborhoods that they park in. With respect to the traffic concerns with schools, Little League, et cetera, as part of council's comments during the pre-screen, the applicant permittee was required to conduct traffic counts in the neighboring streets, including Arlington, DeVernon, and Springfield. And they did do that as part of their application, and it was included in the traffic study. Those streets, I believe, had a maximum 24-hour count, so we do tube counts where we place tubes on the ground, or in this case, the applicant did. Tubes are placed on the ground that measures traffic for a 24-hour period, and they did that over 2 days as required. And the maximum that were observed in the neighborhood streets was approximately 300. So normally on a residential street, we would anticipate the capacity to be about 5,000. So all of these streets would be operating at what we would a term level of service A, excellent operating capacity. As far as township is concerned, the last count that the city conducted was in 2022, and we measured the ADT, the average daily traffic, at 1,600 trips. And again, that being a collector street, would actually expect that to have a higher maximum capacity of right around 8,000 vehicles per day. So again, well below what we would measure for its actual capacity of that street. Carrying on with some of the other conversation about speed humps. So these streets, as they were measured, and we only, the city has a speed hump warrant and a speed hump analysis that we do for various streets. So they have to meet a certain amount of criteria. Obviously, we did not measure speeds on these streets as part of this effort, but based on the ADTs, these streets would not meet the requirement for speed humps. Again, that is just based on using the city's limited resources to place the speed humps on those streets that most need them, and they would have to exceed usually 2,000 vehicles per day. And again, at 300 vehicles per day is well below the threshold with which we would recommend speed hump installation. When were the observations taken? I just alluded to that a few moments ago. These are 24-hour counts. So these tubes are down on the ground, in this case, 48 hours. So we're looking at all hours of the day, and actually the highest, as you would actually expect, occurred between 2 and 4 p.m., so right around school time. And again, probably should be reiterated that prayer hours do not occur in any of these time periods that would coincide with what we'd either call the AM peak hour, which is 7 to 9 a.m., or the PM peak hour, which is 4 to 6 p.m., and even school release, which would be anywhere between 2 and 3:30. So the prayer times, the most active periods of time that the mosque would operate outside of that, including Friday prayer. I think that's all I had. Thank you.
Yes, please.
I realize this isn't time for our questioning, but I did notice that someone in the one of the people opposed talked about the traffic dangers and the dangers of accidents. Now, and so I just wanted to have you address that briefly, if you could. The MUTCD and the Highway Design Manual, they have warrants for changes in designs that relate to traffic accidents, correct?
That is correct.
And usually that warrant is if you have 5 or more of I'm paraphrasing because I'm not an engineer, but they're basically it's a change is warranted if there are 5 or more of a similar type of accident within a given year in a specific area. Would you say that's correct?
You're dead on, actually. Yes, it's 5 correctable accidents of a similar type in a given year.
Correctable accident. Okay, that's a further limitation. Okay, and if I remember the slide correctly, you've only got like 2 accidents within
Two collisions within the last 9 years.
2 collisions within the last 9 years. So nowhere near, this is not, wouldn't be considered even an intersection that warrants any kind of change, let alone a dangerous intersection or a dangerous area of town.
That would be a correct assessment, yes.
Okay, that's all.
While you just reminded me, actually, there was a comment about crosswalks. So with respect to Valley View Middle School, there is a signalized crosswalk, of course, at Tapo and Township Cadota. And then there is a crosswalk that is, and I believe that crosswalk actually has a crossing guard stationed at it. And there is a crosswalk on Township at Township Elementary, which also has a crossing guard. So these are marked crosswalks with crossing guards stationed at them.
Okay.
And Chairman Mann and members of the commission, on top of those items, want to remind you that the use is already there. There is a conditional use permit for the religious facility currently. Tonight's item is to modify that conditional use to see if the proposed architectural and building changes comply with zoning regulations. So that's the purpose of the modification, and that's the zoning analysis that we will should perform tonight. And also to clarify some of the parking questions that came up. The parking requirements are used consistently for all the religious facilities in the city as far as the assembly areas and whatnot. So there's been several renovations of facilities throughout the city that have adhered to the same parking standards that are being addressed tonight.
Thank you. Anything further from staff regarding comments made during the public hearing?
No further comments. Thank you.
Okay. Would the applicant like to respond to any of the comments regarding statements made during the public hearing? Gentlemen, any response? Okay. If there's no further questions, then we're going to close the public testimony of the hearing. Planning Commissioners, are there any comments or questions from members of the Planning Commission? By all means, please. Vice Chair Mayor.
So I want to thank everybody for speaking. I'm very happy to see so many people come out and speak. And I want to say that it was so nice to see young people, and it's a testament to all the work that you do. And it's really refreshing, and it's really nice to see that. That being said, I don't think anybody here is against people worshiping or practicing their religion. I heard a lot about mutual respect, equality, being a good neighbor, friend, living in harmony, and I fully support that. And I hope we can all share space. I asked you about making some accommodations for parking, maybe a remote parking, and then either shuttling people over, or you said they can walk. It's good for them. So I'm going to hold you to that, I hope, in the future. And you're a man of religion, so if I can't trust your word, then I guess I can't trust anybody's word. So thank you. That's all I have. Oh, and one more thing. I would want you guys to consider supporting the change in the conditions about the minaret and the speaker system there, just for the sake of code maybe changing in the future, so that if that changes with all the public comments, and I feel like the applicant is already in the agreement that there's not going to be any speaker system installed in the future, so I don't see a big deal in adding just that as a condition.
Okay.
Thank you.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Well, I normally don't talk much at these, but I had a few things. First of all, Hema, thank you for setting the tone and getting us off on the right foot on this. You really encourage engagement from all participants here. Those with opposing viewpoints had valid concerns, and you were all very respectful and even clapped for them. Thank you for that. I enjoyed the discourse and I enjoyed the respect, and thank you for the presentations.
Commissioner Tolson, I see you pushing a button.
Thank you very much. First of all, I appreciate that the congregation here is similar to my church, where the imam was speaking and behind was somebody asleep.
We're not saying who.
Only because I can't pronounce his name. I can't pronounce his name.
No, I'll help you on that one. Yeah, got it covered.
I made some calls and talked to some of the baseball officials today, and they were complimentary to the challenges that they have. They said, you know what, along that street, if there's something happening at the school, there's just parking issues. If there's something happening at the baseball fields, there's parking issues. If there's something happening at the El Patio restaurant, there's parking issues. So this is just one of 4 groups that have parking issues, and he made it clear that all were accommodating. So when something happens at the mosque, they overflow into the baseball parking. When they happens at the baseball, they overflow into your parking lot, and I appreciate that. And I think that's, it's a challenge for a neighbor who's going to have that happen. And again, if it's something at the elementary school, it's going to overflow into the neighborhood. If it's a baseball tournament, it's going to overflow into the neighborhood. And maybe 33 years ago when this was built, maybe that's when maybe it should have been addressed. But this is what's happening. I think that the Amman, you represented your organization very well, and it's a testament to you as a leader, but also as a father. You raised a pretty good son. And in terms of the challenges here, I think this is an improvement. I'd rather not have your organization have learned the power of patience by having to continually wait to use the restroom any longer. There's other ways to be taught those kind of things. I would be in favor of putting a condition on the minarets that there's no speaker used, but 100% in favor of this project.
Commissioner Kennedy, back to you, since you buzzed in before Commissioner Rice.
Sorry, Ken. Real quick, being a patron of El Patio since the mid-'80s and having a grandson now playing baseball at those fields, I've studied this quite a bit. So just wanted to get that on the record. Thank you.
Commissioner Rice.
Okay, well, a number of things about this. First off, just to keep it on point here. First, the important thing to me is that this fixes an inconsistency with the city's general plan. Get us back on track here. The majority of this building is only 21 to 28 feet high and not the 35 feet high that was brought up a number of times by other people who were against the project. It's a beautiful building. It really is a beautiful building. The parking is always the biggest problem that we have, but it meets the guidelines. It meets the guidelines. And my son played at Santa Susana Fields there, and it was always a nightmare. But that wasn't your problem. That was the Park and Rec's problem because they never put in enough parking there. That was them. And so sometimes we had to park a long ways away and walk. And I think I probably parked in your parking lot a couple times. Shh, I'm not going to say anything. But I'm not going to say that. Anyway, it exceeds the landscaping standards, which is becoming rarer and rarer nowadays. And I think that'll be nice. And I think that this is definitely a positive for that neighborhood. And I look forward to this being a part of Simi Valley. Oh, one last thing I did want to add, and that's that as much as I understand where Vice Chair Mayor is going with the minaret thing, I don't think that's necessary, and I really do not unless it means that the project would be denied, I do not want that included as a condition of approval, because I think it's unfair.
Okay? Unlike at my office or my home, here, I actually get to have the last word. Okay. Nobody tell my wife, who actually, she sent me a text earlier saying she's watching. I truly appreciate all the clapping during both sides in favor and opposition. That shows great class, and I truly appreciate everybody supporting everybody else's opinion. Parking has been a huge problem. It will continue to be a huge problem. Traffic is a problem. Malls are packed during the holidays, and they're not packed 364 other days of the year, but yet we still go to the malls. Your mosque has events on certain days. The baseball fields have their events. The Township Elementary. Trying to go to El Patio on Cinco de Mayo, you're parking down off the 118 freeway. It's just, parking is always going to be a problem. As Ahmad Jabran said, walking is good. So if you have to walk a little bit further to go get a drink, go pray, go watch your kids play baseball, go to a school event, so be it. That's the way it's going to be. I kind of have a unique perspective. I actually grew up on Springfield Street, which is right below your mosque. I remember your mosque when it was the Veterans of Foreign War building. I went to Township Elementary School. I played baseball in those baseball fields. I played in Houghton Schreiber Park. I went to Valley View Junior High School when it was called Valley View Junior High School back then. Even back then, parking was a pain. I wasn't driving, but my parents would complain about having to park, so we would actually just walk from the house. It made it easier. But everyone has learned to live together with the parking and with the traffic, and I'm sure it will continue on. I feel for the people that live in the neighborhood that don't support it, because I understand that they have their reasons for the parking issues, but the bottom line is parking is an issue all over the place. There's no way we're gonna get away from it. And to not approve your project because of a perceived current problem makes absolutely no sense. As far as the minaret, it's there and decorative. It's not going to have a sound system. Even if we put in there that we want a condition that it won't have one, if they wanted to put one in later on, it would have to change code in some way, shape, or form. So whether we condition it or not condition it, I think it's the same effect. They, meaning the mosque, would have to come back at a later time to the city council probably and ask for it to be, the minaret to be functional, which is probably not going to happen. That's not something that you've actually have asked for. You've already said it's decorative only. So I think we're okay with approving it without the condition. Because again, like Commissioner Rice says, I don't want to confuse it. I don't want to have to come back to us or delay this in any way, shape, or form. You've been delayed long enough. You certainly deserve the expansion. You deserve the beautiful building. So by all means, I am in favor of approving the project. Now, assuming no other condition, so I don't get the last word even here. Okay. Commissioner Kennedy, my wife.
No, I was going to move to read the resolution.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to say, may I please have a reading of the resolution? That staff does that.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you guys do that.
Yeah, you do that. Yes, you do.
A resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Simi Valley recommending to the City Council approval of conditional use permit modification CUP-S-400 Mod 1, a general plan amendment GPA-2021-0002, a zone change Z-S-2021-0007, and zone text amendment Z-S-2024-0001 in order to construct a two-story religious institution for a property located at 4343 Township Avenue, and a determination that the project is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act.
The chair will now entertain a motion.
Now I'd like to make a motion. I move to adopt a resolution recommending to the City Council approval of CUP-S-400 Mod Number 1 GPA-2021-0002 Z-S-2021-0007 Z-S-2024-0001, and the determination that the project is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act.
Motion was made by Commissioner Kennedy. May I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Tolson. Call for the vote, please. The motion passes. No, I still got more things to say. Not often we get a standing ovation. Thank you, one and all. Again, a great display of class. I appreciate that. The appeal period for the modification of the conditional use permit is 14 calendar days. There is no appeal period for the zoning text amendments, and the items will proceed to the City Council with the Planning Commission's recommendation. There is no appeal period for the general plan amendment, and the item will proceed to the City Council with the Planning Commission's recommendation. With that, we continue on with our meeting once I find my notes. We have no new business. We have no public hearings. Oral communications and reports. Does staff have anything to report?
Yes, Chairman Mann, members of the Planning Commission. The only thing I want to report is I'd just like to welcome our new Assistant Planner, Sarah Martinez, to the Planning Division. This is her first week. And she, along with Mr. Morissette, has done and Ms. De Leon has done a great job herding the speaker cards today.
Great job, great job. Do any commissioners have anything to report? Mobile Home Rent Mediation Board?
No items tonight.
Tree Advisory Board?
No items tonight.
Do we have the next date of the next meeting? Is it June?
It's
June 2nd?
June
5th?
June 5th.
Okay, this concludes the meeting of May 22nd, 2024. The next scheduled meeting will be on June 5th, 2024. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you one and all for your attendance.